David Turner was hiking alone on a Saturday morning when he spotted something blocking the trail ahead. An enormous snake lay stretched across the path, far larger than any he'd seen before. The creature appeared weak, with strange rectangular bulges along its body. When the wildlife expert examined the snake and saw the scan results, he immediately called the police. David Turner started his Saturday morning hike early. The sun had barely risen above the tree line. He loved these quiet hours before the trails got crowded. He had been hiking this trail for years. Every weekend, the same routine. About 40 minutes in, David noticed something blocking the path ahead. At first, he thought it might be a fallen branch, but as he got closer, his pulse quickened. This was no branch. A massive snake lay stretched across the entire width of the trail. David stopped dead. The creature was enormous, easily the largest snake he had ever seen outside a zoo. It barely moved, just the slow rise and fall of breathing. Something about it looked wrong. The snake's body had strange bulges along its length, uneven lumps that made no sense. He pulled out his phone and started recording. The bulges were too uniform, too rectangular. Whatever was inside this snake, it wasn't normal prey. Should he just walk away? But the snake looked weak, struggling. David felt torn between fear and concern. He decided to call the park ranger station. While he waited for them to answer, the creature's breathing seemed labored, almost painful. A ranger answered. David explained what he found. The ranger asked him to stay at the location and keep other hikers away. Help would arrive soon. 30 minutes felt like hours. A few other hikers approached, and he warned them about the snake, suggesting they take a different route. When the rangers finally arrived, they brought a wildlife expert. The expert crouched near the snake, examining it carefully. His expression grew serious. He made several phone calls, speaking quietly. David could only catch fragments of the conversation. More vehicles arrived. Police cars pulled up along the trail access road. Officers walked toward them carrying equipment. David felt a chill. Why would police be interested in a sick snake? A detective approached David and started asking questions. Where exactly had he found it? What time did he arrive? Had he seen anyone else on the trail? David answered everything, but his mind was racing. The wildlife team brought specialized equipment. They sedated the snake and began scanning its body with imaging devices. David watched from several feet away, increasingly nervous. The team members exchanged glances as they looked at the results. The detective's jaw tightened. More officers arrived. The quiet trail was now filled with official vehicles. The wildlife expert explained that the snake had foreign objects lodged in its digestive system. Based on the scans, these objects were deliberately placed. A veterinary surgeon arrived with a mobile surgical unit. David was told he needed to stay for questioning, so he watched from behind the police line. The surgery began. After what felt like forever, they extracted the first object. It was wrapped in waterproof material, sealed tight. Police officers moved in immediately. They photographed the package before carefully opening it. David saw their faces change. Whatever was inside, it was bad. More packages came out, one after another, each one handled with extreme care. The officers exchanged grim looks with each new discovery. A detective walked over to David. He needed more information. Had David noticed anything unusual on his recent hikes? Any suspicious people or activities? David tried to remember, but nothing stood out. The detective explained that David might have witnessed something important without realizing it. He asked David to think carefully about the past few weekends. Anyone who seemed out of place. The wildlife team finished extracting all the packages. 8 in total. The snake was stabilized and prepared for transport. It would survive, but barely. Police continued their investigation on the trail. They searched the surrounding area thoroughly. Dogs were brought in to sweep the woods. David sat on a fallen log, still trying to make sense of everything. After hours of questioning and investigation, the detective finally revealed the truth to David. The packages contained narcotics, large quantities of illegal drugs. The snake had been used as a living courier, force-fed sealed packages to transport contraband through the woods. David felt sick. All this time, while he was enjoying peaceful morning walks, criminals were operating right under everyone's noses, using these beautiful trails as their personal smuggling route. using innocent animals as disposable tools. The detective explained that this was likely part of a larger operation. They suspected multiple snakes had been used over time. The method was clever, avoiding roads, security cameras, and normal patrol patterns. No one would suspect a snake lying on a trail. David was told the investigation would continue. They needed to identify everyone involved and shut down the entire operation. He might be called to testify if cases went to court. In the meantime, he should remain vigilant and report anything suspicious. Over the next 2 weeks, police transformed the quiet trails. Hidden cameras appeared throughout the park. Plainclothes officers posed as hikers. The entire area was under constant surveillance, though most visitors never knew it. David returned to the trails, but everything felt different now. Every person he passed made him wonder. Every sound in the woods made him alert. The peace he once found here had been shattered by knowledge he couldn't forget. Then came the breakthrough. Police arrested 4 individuals attempting to retrieve another snake at a different location. The operation moved quickly, coordinated across multiple agencies. Within hours, the entire network was exposed. The criminal group had been operating for over a year. Dozens of successful runs through the trail system, completely undetected. They had refined their method, using exotic snakes acquired illegally. The animals were force-fed packages, released at specific drop points, then collected hours later by accomplices. Local news covered the story extensively. David's name was mentioned as the hiker whose discovery broke the case open. He received recognition from the police department for his quick thinking and cooperation. But the attention felt strange, uncomfortable. The rescued snake made a full recovery and was relocated to a wildlife sanctuary. 7 other snakes were found and rescued during the investigation. Each one told the same tragic story of exploitation and abuse. David still hikes those trails. He refuses to let criminals take away something he loves, but he can't unsee what he learned that Saturday morning. The woods he once found peaceful now carry a different weight. He watches other hikers more carefully, notices details he used to ignore. Sometimes he thinks about that moment when he first saw the snake blocking the trail. How close he came to just walking around it and continuing his hike. How easily he might have missed everything. One decision to call for help changed the outcome for those animals and exposed a criminal network. The trails are safer now, monitored and protected. But David knows that danger can hide anywhere, even in places we trust most. His simple morning hike taught him that the world is more complicated than it appears. And sometimes the most unexpected discoveries matter most. And you, if you found something strange on a familiar trail, would you investigate or walk away?